Okay, we are
We're
recording.
recording.
Awesome.
I'll start. Okay, so this video, we're putting this on to, this is called the Native Development Network. So our actual guest host today is Mr. Robert. He's from Romania, the land of vampires.
Thank you. Thank you
Just
for the
kidding.
introduction.
Robert, why don't you tell actually, let me tell you what the group is so you have a better understanding. So Robert was just sideswiped, okay? I grabbed him out of nowhere. I said, Robert, I need you right now. I need you over here. So Native Development Network is a network of individuals that I send this video to, send content to on a weekly basis. So I send them video content for interviews that we do, and I send them video content of articles or new developments in what would be called Indian country. So when we say Indian, we're talking Native Americans in the United States. And the focus of the group is development. So we're talking about economic development, business development, and community development. I had a gentleman slated for a 12:30 interview, and he did not show up, didn't respond to my messages, and this was a week out. He was honored to be on our show, but didn't show up. So I was a little late too, but you know, I mean, I jump on at 12:45 and he's not available. So I just kind of assumed, knowing that kind of a timeline, he only had 15 minutes. So what I want to do is flip the script, bring Robert on, okay, and then people can interview, because to be quite honest, not very many people know what I do, and I think that's kind of weird. So I want to give the floor is yours, my man. Ask questions, fire away. You have the structure of the interview. You're in control. All I'm doing is answering your questions.
Okay.
Tell us who you are, what you do first, and then we'll get started.
This is awesome. So my name is Robert. I'm from Romania. I'm a web designer, and I also create copy and do SEO for small businesses. I started Start Small Digital, and right now I'm helping companies grow from lemonade stands to corporation. Like, we're helping you and we're sitting near you from the beginning until you're really big. So that's kind of what we do. But anyway, it's not about me today. It's about Curtis. So Curtis, how are you and what do you do?
Who am I? Well, I'm Curtis DeCora. So Native Development Network, you're probably getting my emails. And I either met you at Res last year at the convention in Las Vegas, or you're a current client of mine, or we're in constant negotiations talking about how we can bring development efforts to your communities. What do? I own an agency called Superior Marketing Group, and what we do is lead generation and outsource sales. So we identify businesses that struggle with their internal sales processes or filling their sales pipeline. So what I mean by that is a lot of companies struggle with those two aspects. So if your sales pipeline is empty, you really can't sell anything. There's no one to sell to. So that's where we normally start. So I have an agency, roughly 12 people working on my team. They're all either freelancers or solopreneurs, and I basically am the sales engine that backs them. So once I sell the project, they do the fulfillment, and we work as one happy team. Mr. Robert is... he might not know it, but he's going to be joining my team very soon. I'm going to be sending you some work. So we're going to be working together. So that's basically what I do outside of business. You know, so if you're local actually, if you're from Wisconsin, you probably know me from, you know, all of the camps that I do, from anything from youth camps to actually youth basketball camps, to football coaching, soccer coaching. I open up the weight room and do basketball skills camps in the summer. I do all that stuff. Outside of that, I'm usually doing some type of personal training and working with other people on their fitness goals. So I'm a busy guy, you know, and I also own a brokerage where we do merchant services. I'm not quite a serial entrepreneur yet, but that's on the table still. I'm looking to actually put myself in a capacity where I can sell more and bring in gentlemen like Robert and their fantastic skills and their wizardry to actually do the film so you guys get even better results. So that's who I am and what I do.
That's quite a lot, my man. Like, it took you 1 minute to talk about what you do and keep it short. How did you get into all of this? How did you start?
Oh, great question. Okay, so this all started roughly, I would like to say, 2004. My first gig was actually, I don't know if in Romania, if you have what's called the Kirby vacuum. Do you remember that at all? It's
No.
called Kirby vacuum. It's a very expensive vacuum. People go door to door selling it. It's like $2,000.
Oh my God.
But I had a gig selling Kirby vacuums in Superior, Wisconsin, which is about an hour north of here, selling vacuums door to door. So you'd walk around with this Kirby vacuum in a box, and you would roll it with you, and you would go knocking door to door, and you'd do a demonstration on a 5x5 square on their floor, and you'd show them how to actually vacuum their rug. So they'd do it with their vacuum. Then I bring out my Kirby vacuum and clean it even more. And there's this big white square, or this big clean square, even after they vacuum. So we do a demo and just build the value and show them how it worked. And some people would buy, some people wouldn't. But the commissions were ridiculous. You know, you sell 2 of those in a month, and you're making more than most people in 6. So, so my launch had, but the door thing kind of, especially um, I ended up finding a gig that was selling door-to-door home security systems. And this was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I was kind of going door to door, learning a little bit about the sales process, understanding that the more effort, the more you scale up, and the more activity you put into sales, the more you earn. So I said, well, this is amazing, because I know a lot of people who are going to work every week 40 hours and making the same amount. Whether they bust their ass or not, they're making the same amount. And if I bust my ass, I could make 2 times more than what, before. So that was kind of the platform for me, and the jumping off point, the launch pad, if you will, to better understand, like, sales is really the way to go. So after I finished my, going through college, these were summer jobs, by the way. I actually got a job fresh out of college working with the Department of Workforce Development here in Wisconsin. And all I was doing was going and identifying opportunities to place people in jobs or create jobs for people with disabilities. So it could be a physical disability, they could have emotional disability, or mental disabilities. And my job was to go out and help them find opportunities within their organizational structure. So some of that included shifting things around. Like, let me give you an example of, there was a warehouse that I was working with, and they paid their guys $15 an hour. And at the end of the shift, every guy would clean for 1 hour. That was the last hour of their shift. So they had 10 guys, $15 an hour. So what I had proposed to the business owner was, stop paying $150 an hour to have your high skill, high level guys clean. Let me give you a cleaner and let you guys go early. So he went from $150 an hour and brought in this other person to make, to work the last 2 hours at, $15 an hour. So instead of $30 or $150, he was only spending $60. So he saved $90 a week, actually a day. It was almost a day. So there was a lot of money in. I started learning how to negotiate and solve problems with business owners by doing this particular process. But it was very bureaucratic because it was a state position. Working with the state, it was a subcontractor with the state. So I moved back, actually took a step back from this opportunity and wanted to do more actual selling and solving business challenges. So I started what was called Dynamics Enterprises, and I don't have a shirt on, but I made a bunch of polos. I had a team. We were going out selling promotional items, business cards, websites. We were selling all this stuff, and I had a team and a lot of people working for me at that time. But it was a commodity. So basically, we were selling a price, and we weren't really building any value. It was just saying, hey, can we design business cards for you? We can do some flyers, some brochures, posters, and promote your events for you. So that was really my start in learning how to do what was called direct response marketing. And that's kind of where this whole business and all my skill development started. This was 2008, so this is 10 years ago now. Taking postcards and putting addresses on there with customer numbers. So when we send those out, they redeem them. They'd have them filled out. So we got a direct response. So if we sent out 100, we got back 22. We know that our response rate was 22%. So that's how I got my start in learning how to get responses back from prospects. So when we're doing our prospecting outreach, we started employing those different strategies. And now, 10 years later, we're using digital strategies. So there's a lot of stuff in play here, especially from social media marketing to email marketing, text message marketing, ringless voicemails, Facebook ads, AdWords. We even do a deal fencing product. So we have a local service that is only local. Instead of using Facebook to go hyper local, not everyone's on Facebook, but everyone's using their cell phone, and we can use different apps. So we can target various apps. So that's kind of where we're working now, is working on these different solutions and bringing them to the clients so they can generate more leads and fill their pipeline. So it's kind of a long story, but it's a short and condensed. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of where I am now, is helping bring more opportunities to people, and people being business owners, whether they're entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or large corporations. And one of my passions is tribal business development. I want to see a tribal community prosper beyond what would be gaming. So I'm sure, Robert, you're familiar with casinos, right?
Yeah.
That's the majority of tribal communities' revenue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. The majority of the revenue right now is coming from casino gaming, and the newest industry is online lending. Like, you can go to a website and take a loan. And the majority of tribal communities are actually leveraging that, and they're making money off of it. But there's more than that to actually building a revenue base and developing an economy in some of the most remote areas, because that's really where tribal communities are, in very remote areas. So that's how I got into this, is I want to use my sales skills and my problem solving, my critical thinking, and bring these to these remote areas and help them expand into all 50 states and even eventually across the world.
Wow, that's really awesome and really big. Can I ask you something? Like, when you were talking about the idea of selling vacuums door to door, I saw some ads when I was little, when a guy was just coming, here is my vacuum, and just throwing some dirt on the rug of the client and cleaning it afterwards. Were you doing that, or just cleaning the house?
No, we weren't throwing dirt. We were actually just cleaning. So we picked a spot, and it was like a 5-inch by 5-inch square. And what we would do is have them pull out the vacuum, and then we would vacuum their floor, and that's what they would presume was clean. Then we would pull out our vacuum and then do a 5 by 5 square, and it would just have this giant square that was super duper clean. And they would look at that and go, wow, honey, our vacuum cleaner doesn't cut it, obviously. So then I'd use scare tactics, talk about allergens and poor breathing, and if you have any kind of respiratory issues, this is typically what it's from, and they would kind of step back. And then I would try and calculate it based on what their health bills would be for the year. Like, if you have asthma, how much are you spending on your asthma medication? This could be the reason why it's kind of your asthma. You know what I mean? So I'm really getting into it. I started learning how to build value and started quantify, like, this $2,000 could replace your asthma medication, which is not true. I mean, I could probably get in trouble for that, but that was 10 years ago. So we won't go there.
That's awesome. You also stated about how you want to help tribal communities. How do you think your knowledge and solutions right now benefit development efforts?
Oh yeah, great question. So I think my knowledge right now, I've actually worked with a few tribal communities, to the exact, and for a couple of services that I have right now, they were able to, they can either use them internally or they can white them, so that they'll be able to produce a revenue base for that, and that's again diversifying their economy. That to me, that's the goal. Also, I want to make sure that's noted that should be every tribal community's goal, is to diversify their economy and find at least a minimum of 10 revenue channels. And I say 10 because it's a round number. I mean, it could be 7, it could be 8. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying 10 because the biggest thing is the majority of tribal communities right now are so focused on grant funding, federal funding, state funding. When government squeeze down, those dollars go away. So there goes your economy. Why not open up the free enterprise, the free economy, and start leveraging business development efforts? So my knowledge, I've got a couple opportunities and a couple ideas right now on the top of my tongue that would massively benefit communities. One of them would be leverage buying groups. So let's say there are 5 tribes, or even 4. Let's say there's 4 tribes, okay, and they're all 70 miles apart. Okay, could be in a straight line, could be in a triangle, could be in a square. Regionally, let's say there's 4 tribal communities. They could all purchase their products through one central office and get a massive, massive volume discount. So this could be anything from office supplies to the items that go inside of their convenience stores, the items they sell in their casinos. This could be from toilet paper, bed sheets. They go order the bed sheets from somebody. See, casinos need bed sheets, Robert. So that's one of the ideas that I've been working on, is trying to develop some sort of consortium or association where tribes can work together. They can use buying power and really leverage their margins. So if they're only making 22% margins, let's get you up to 40% margins. What could that do for your economy if you almost doubled your annual margins, annual revenues? That could do a lot. Another one was I was talking about the brokerage. I do merchant services. So you swipe with the card. That's merchant services. So someone has to set that service up, and that's what I do. I'll go into typically a tribal community and I'll talk about merchant services to the Economic Development Corporation and mention that we could be a service provider, we could be a partner. So like you could sell my services, white label them to other businesses in your community, and you get a cut of it. Okay, so that's just a passive revenue stream for them. They don't have to do anything. I service all the accounts. Or on the very back end, we can actually work together and partner on something where they earn long-term and lifetime residual by working directly with me. It's a proprietary system. I want to mention it, but there are some opportunities there. And outside of that, the one thing that could massively benefit tribal communities is I'm a sales guy. I go knocking on doors. I'm picking up my phone. I'm calling. I'm Facebooking people from Romania. Okay, so that's all targeted outreach, right? All these tribal communities, they have nobody, 0 people doing any kind of targeted outreach. So even if they were to bring diverse products and services to their communities that they can sell, there's nobody doing targeted outreach. So that is one thing. Is I already have a sales team, a sales force, and you have a lead generation team. We could bring these tribal communities, and they would massively benefit from doing targeted outreach.
Okay. Targeted outreach being your last focus point, do you think this is the biggest need that your clients have, like targeted outreach, or is there any other big need that you could fulfill?
I think the biggest need is diversifying their economy. Once they do that, then they can focus on building out sales channels. But I think their biggest need would be to diversify the economy, just to make sure that if one were to fall, they have something else to lean on. Just like somebody with a job. Okay, if their job, if their business closes, what happens to them? Their household income. That's what tribal communities are doing right now. They're relying so much on one revenue source that if it is pulled, the rug is pulled from their feet, what the hell do they do? So diversifying. So I think that's the biggest need. But once you diversify, you need sales channels. Okay, that could be channel partners. If you're not familiar with channel partners, that's simply leveraging other people's sales force and giving them a cut of your product and margins. And really, there's a lot of people that do this. There are a number of companies that they call white labeling, so you can white label your solution, slap somebody else's logo on it, they go sell it, and you do the fulfillment. A number of companies do that. You know, it's drop shipping nowadays. There's all kinds of opportunities out there that you utilize and leverage channel partners. So all you're doing is giving them the opportunity to sell your product for a high margin, and you keep half of it or percentage of it, things like that. So yeah, so that's a big need. Once you diversify, then you need to provide channels in order to, so that could be a direct sales force, channel partners, digital marketing, or some sort of a intro process where your whole community can use your product and services. Yeah, I think that would be my answer to that.
Okay. I also wanted to ask what can people do to fulfill these needs, but you kind of got over it. You told a lot of answers. Do you have any other ideas of how you can fulfill this, or is that it?
I think that would probably be the chunk of it. I think the buying group is going to be massive. If tribes would come together and stop fighting for market share and share market share, because that's really the biggest thing is collaboration. If they were to collaborate, think of the opportunities. You know, it's like, do you remember the story Romeo and Juliet?
Where everyone died, like. I haven't studied Romeo and Juliet. I only know that they die at the end. That's it.
Yeah. So okay, let's not use that then. Maybe we'll use another one. Like the movie 300. Did you see that?
Say that again.
The movie 300.
Oh, the 300, the Spartans.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know it. It's awesome.
Yeah. So let's use that as an example. Let's say the Spartans joined forces, and now they have a larger audience and more market share that they can. But I'm not saying join with some sketchy or throwing empire, but you know, join forces with other people, just kind of like they did when they fought at the end. You know, they joined forces with other small communities, other small businesses, and piggyback those efforts. That's I guess the term there would be a joint venture marketing opportunity. So that's really the description, I guess, if you will, of buying, you know, bringing four communities together, all their resources, leveraging their orders, so volume orders, and they do a volume order and leveraging buying power. They bring it back instead of selling, let's say we're doing monsters, okay? Let's say we're doing monsters.
Okay.
Bought this monster for $2.49. So let's say they buy it for $1. Okay. If they buy it for $1 through their normal channels, through a buying group, they could probably buy it for 60 cents. So every unit they sell, they would get 40% more. So when I say I can increase your sales 23%, I just showed you how to increase your sales 40%. So, you know, you leverage the buying groups by doing things like this. I guess that's one way to do it. Obviously, channel partners. But these are just different ideas that I put together and pull in resources. Folks like you, folks like Marcelo from last week. He did an amazing interview. He talked about his platform with Sparky, but this is kind of where I want to bring all of these people, all of these ideas to one platform like the Native Development Network, and download the video and send it out to everybody so they can see what massive opportunities are available. Now, they're just ideas, obviously, but it gets the creative juices flowing, and that's really why I wanted to put this together and bring people in every week to talk about community development, economic development, and business development. I got off on a tangent there, but I'm sorry. Go to the floor, man. Interrupt me anytime I go one.
That's really awesome. I like how you are going to increase profits, not only by generating new leads and increasing revenue, but also cutting your costs. Because I see a lot of businesses that they're like, we need more leads, we need more clients, we need more money coming out our door, and they are so wasting every penny they are getting. Like, for example, when we started our bed sheets company, we were paying 50% more on transport than we are doing right now. Like, if it cost us like $10 to send something, now it's around six, and calculate it like that for hundreds of stuff that you sell. That's massive. But most companies don't
That
think
is
about that.
absolutely. They don't. They don't. And I know this for a fact because working with multiple companies, they're looking at like you said, they want leads, they want leads. But what are the leads going to do for you? See, I've worked with companies in the past where they would get sales. Let's say I had two salespeople, and it was a small organization. They wanted more leads, and currently every sales rep was getting 20 leads. So sorry, 20 leads a month, and they were high quality leads. Like they were pre-qualified, they were scrubbed, they were went through an interview process, all this stuff through multiple SDRs. And just so you're aware, an SDR is a sales development rep. So they went through actually 3 sales development reps to determine if they qualified. And what the CEO talked about was the SDR process is so expensive that he wants to implement a new process. And he wanted me to generate 200 leads a month for each of them, bringing them more opportunity. But what actually happened was out of those 20 leads that they generated that were qualified and highly scrubbed and went through interview processes, they were closing 6 deals a month. Okay, so I mean, if you break that down, it's 30% close rate. But when they actually had to start doing their own, the SDRs, they went on to one deal a month because they were so busy trying to do pre-qualifying on their own. So sometimes quantity is not better than quality, and just because you have more leads, it doesn't mean you're going to have more sales. That's one of the misconceptions and myths that come from sales opportunities out there is people think that more leads is the answer, but it's all about efficient processes. Like you said, breaking down those expenses and making sure they're not overriding your revenues or hindering a great process that you have in place that allows your salespeople to actually close more deals. And I think that was great. He could have done something automated, like a web form that could filter through people and have two, your cost of 1/3, and then implement a web form. That would have been a better strategy to reduce costs rather than hiring 3 guys that were doing a main job for you, and then your sales guys quit because they went from deal a month to 1 deal a month. I think those are just examples of what I'm talking to business owners. This is the stuff I find out like almost on a daily basis. What are your internal processes like? What is the prospecting like? The sales process, is it a value-centric sales presentation, or are you just pitching? And that goes into a lot of different aspects of the business, is making sure that you have efficient processes.
Okay, that's really awesome, because it's actually getting really late in the land of vampires. Vampires. God, my English sucks. Anyway, any message that you want to share with the world? What do you say?
Any message I want to share with the world? Yes. And I would say, based on who the audience is here today, I would say share your information. Okay. There is a misconception out there that information is not free. It shouldn't be free. It should be monetized. When exactly the majority of the work I do is just giving away free stuff. Like I give away free ebooks. I give away free, just story strategy, because the actual magic is in implementation. So if you're looking to start a new business, you're looking to expand upon business, it comes down to give value to your customer base. And that is my message to anybody. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup, if you've been in business for 50 years. The bulk of your effectiveness is going to be how much value you can give to people. And that's an overused term too. I know that it's overused by everyone. But it's true, because you have to offer them as much information as possible so they understand that, okay, this would really help me. And I don't know how to implement it myself, so This guy over here giving me all this free information, he probably knows how to do that because I know I can trust him based on all this free information he gave me. And that is, I think, my one message to the world is if you have information, give it away. Okay, give it out. Tell everybody about it. Because you never know who's going to need it. And, you know, we shouldn't pass judgment on who we think can afford our products, our services, our solutions. Give the information. If it's of value to them, they will come back.
That's actually really true. For example, I've had my company from March last year, and I've never ever had a cold call. All my leads are created after providing value, after talking in groups, teaching people how to do SEO, giving them advice. Hey, your website could convert better if you move that a little higher, delete that, maybe increase the font or whatever. That's how I make clients right now, and it works wonders for me. I could, I would need help in closing, but I do get the leads. Like they come for me and they're like, Robert, you are good with that. Help me with my website also. So it works. Providing value works a lot.
It does. It absolutely does. And Robert, just so audience is viewing, Robert and I are both in multiple groups, you know, multiple Facebook groups. If you're not in them, I highly recommend you join some groups. And I don't mean like groups that are totally irrelevant to what you're doing. I mean groups that are totally relevant to what you're doing. So jump into, if you're an entrepreneur, jump into an entrepreneur group. If you're a designer, jump into a designer group. If you are a plumber, go plumber groups. You know, whatever's relevant to you, and that's really where you're going to start seeing all the discussions and see what the market really wants, what other entrepreneurs are looking for. Like for example, when I see when I'm in these groups myself, the one common thing I see with just about every entrepreneur is they need leads and they suck at sales. Okay, so I always drop some knowledge. Hey, hit me up. So when they message me, I can give them an ebook. I can give them. Sometimes I'll even type up a 3-page, info sheet and say this is how you do it. So give value, yes. So that would be my one recommendation for everyone here is if you're not in Facebook groups, join them. If you have an audience that is captive, create your own Facebook group. But you want to make sure that you're with like-minded individuals. That's another buzzword too, but Robert, like-minded, value, funnel. All these are out there, but yeah, so that would be my one thing. And I know it's getting late in the land of vampires in Romania, but I do appreciate you doing this, Robert. You know, you really saved my butt here because I had scheduled an interview with a gentleman talking about community development, and he's an online fitness entrepreneur. And yeah, that's all. I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't want to talk about anything else with him.
It happens. One last thing, like I want to ask you, why the hell do you wear a hat or whatever indoors?
It's cold, so I have a hat on now, but I have hat hair. So in the summer, I comb it over. But right now, I have hat hair. So I wear a hat inside. But in the summer, it's combed and it's shaved and it's tapered. And, yeah, I make sure my hair is taken care of in the summer. When it's cold out, I wear a hat. And then I have hat hair, so I don't want to take my hat off. So I always wear a hat indoors. Right up until the point when I go to sleep, I don't see anybody with my hat hair. But yeah, that's a good question. I'd ask that. I actually had somebody ask me after we did Facebook Live, they sent me a message and asked if I was bald. I'm like, dude, no, I've got hair, man. I'm not bald. I'm not that old. Yeah, I've got a full head of hair. It's healthy hair. There's no balding.
Yeah, I got like tons of hair.
Yeah, look at that. That's a ton of hair, dude.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so if you have any questions for me, I'll go ahead and wrap this up, and then we can upload this onto YouTube, and I'm going to email it out to the audience, so you'll be getting this. Actually, if they're watching this through the email, they probably wouldn't get this message until the end, so I wouldn't even mention that. But yeah,
well, right now I don't have any other questions. I think the internet is bugging a little right now. I don't know. If you have any questions for me, tell them now, or we can wrap this up so you can send it to your people and add a little value to their day.
Yes. Okay. So what I wanted to do, Robert, for you, because you did this favor me. Every one of these live interviews, I like to have a sponsor. So whether we trade services or they pay for spot, uh, let's talk about your business. Those 2 minutes, give me a sales pitch. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you located? How can people find you? Robert is our sponsor for today's live interview. So go right ahead, man. Give us your sales pitch. Drop some knowledge. Tell us where to find you and how you can help us.
Awesome. You should have told me before that. Maybe prepare something. Okay, I'm gonna be as natural as possible. So I'm Robert. I'm from the United European Union. Just say it like that. I'm Romanian. I come from the land of vampires. Dracula was based on one of our rulers, Vlad the Impaler. Maybe you know him. Anyway, I do web design, I do SEO, I do copywriting. I help small and medium businesses grow a little higher. If you're searching for something on Google, it's probably because someone like me worked their asses off just to rank it a little higher. Because it doesn't matter how good your product is, how good your services are. If nobody finds you, you're dead. It also matters a lot that you have a good website. It doesn't have to cost 10K. You don't need to build it from scratch. For example, we do WordPress design, and it works wonders, especially when our clients offer services, because you can create something beautiful, something unique, and you can be there for your client when he needs your service. Like you said, for plumbers, for example, you need that service now. And if you're searching for something on Google, you're gonna go for the first, maybe the second one, but you won't go for the second page because your damn kitchen is flooded. So you go for the first, and that's what we do. We make sure that the client sees you first, and they can actually call you when they enter the website. Press a button, they call you, you get the lead, you get the money, and everyone is happy.
Excellent, excellent. I like that. And Start Small Digital is Robert's business. What I'll do, Robert, is once we download the video, I'll put it back on the page, and then I'll give you a small banner location at the bottom of the email. So I'll have all your information. So email, maybe if they want to add you to Skype or something, they can do that, and that way they communicate and reach out. I know Marcelo last week ended up getting, I think, a lot of leads from this live interview. So a
Hmm.
lot of people are interested in seeing who we bring on every week, and people from all over the world. And people like Robert. Actually, are you a vampire, Robert?
No, I'm not a vampire. I do eat a lot of red meat and stuff like that. Like I'm a total carnivore. But no, I'm not a vampire. Uh, by the way, just so you know, I'm kind of rebranding myself right now. So my website is gonna be like you're gonna see in construction. Sorry for that. But if you want to talk with me, you can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Skype. We can talk whenever you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I'd like to do is work something out with Mr. Robert here, and because he's under construction with his website, maybe put together some sort of a package for this particular group. Because my email list, like I said, is like it's 2,200, just about there. It's 2,189, I believe. So there's tribal leaders all over here, and that's what I'm talking about right now. When you're watching this, you're going to see this video. Uh, Maybe Robert can put something together for see some samples, something like that. We can get you whatever you need. I know there's always a need for revamping the website, making it run more efficient, making it the page rank increase, things like that. So that's what Mr. Robert is here for, and we would love uh, to send him some business. So let's do what we can.
Awesome. So can we wrap this up? Awesome. Thank
Wrap
you,
it up.
Curtis. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us. Sorry for my bad English. We're more of a Russian type of country than Western. So, yeah, sorry. Hope you're having a good day or whatever. Cheers, man. Bye bye.
Here. Thanks, man.